How's it going, guys? Tux here with another tutorial series on Tekkit Lite. You can visit my Tekkit Lite server. Link is in the description. It is lite.techtastic.com. Check out our website at techtastic.engine.com. We are a public server. We're awesome. End of story. I'm actually playing live right now. This is one that was requested of me because in our server, geothermals are buffed a fair amount to kind of discourage solar panels a little more, because solar panels are kind of a large proponent of lag. And basically, I had a couple of users that were just like, "We don't know anything about geothermals. Do you use a lava fab?" Yeah, you can use a lava fab. Lava fabs are laggy. They don't really do as much output as you would like. They're just not a good option. The reason why I like Magma Crucibles better is because I quarry the nether anyway. If you quarry the nether, you get a lot more ore, and you get tons and tons of netherrack. And we're going to harness that netherrack. In fact, if I show you my home base just really quick, I think I have, yeah, like almost 2 million netherrack. So you can. My monitor's gone now. Multiverse is a bitch. Anyway, so let's get started. This is going to be a really quick and not very well put together tutorial, just because I didn't really have the time to sit and plan this out. What we're going to do is we're going to use Magma Crucibles, and we're going to use geothermal generators to generate a wicked amount of power. Make sure, if you have not set this up yet, you need to start with just geothermals at the very beginning. Start with just geothermals. Get yourself some empty cells, which is just 4 tin and a diamond. Empty cell, 4 tin and a diamond, 16 empty cells. Go down and find lava and fill those up with lava. Get a stack of them. This is if you're just starting the game. If you already have some power, don't worry about it. You have the power already. If you're brand new, build a geothermal. Go get some lava cells. That's your first step. Now, this will put out MV power, so we're going to need to be using transformers for pretty much everything. Now, I found, and the math might not be exact here, but a 1-to-1 ratio of crucibles to geothermals is best. I'm going to show you a 6 and 6 right now. Basically, what you want to do is you want to put... I like doing my geothermals, or my magma crucibles, like this, in a 2 rows of 3. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my geothermals up like so. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do this. In my setup, I use liquid tesseracts. That's a little more advanced, however, so I'm going to show you both ways and how this can be really helpful. Now, let me show you real quick, just in case you don't know. Geothermal generators are made by a generator, refined iron, glass, and those empty cells I showed you before. Very easy to make. The Magma Crucible is a little more difficult. The Magma Crucible is a machine frame, which is just gold, iron, and glass. Copper, a redstone reception coil with this gold and redstone, and nether brick. Nether brick can be a little bit of a bitch if you're just starting out, but if you can't find a fortress, you could always use an induction smelter. I doubt you're going to have an induction smelter yet. You can compress netherrack if you have a compressor. So there's other ways to get it other than just finding another fortress. But you want to get a couple of these. I recommend a 6 and 6 to start with if you can afford it. But if you whatever you can afford. So we're gonna dig a couple blocks out underneath these things to get some piping in here. What I do is I do liquid out the bottom. It's optional. I just like that better. It looks neater. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a line all the way over to these geothermals. What I'm also going to cover in this video is a new way of piping. Now, liquiducts are what we're going to use to transfer liquid. So that's copper and hardened glass. Hardened glass requires an induction smelter. It's a whole other ballgame. So that's a whole other video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these down here. And what you're going to see is these aren't connecting. So what I need to do is I need to open this Magma Crucible. I need to go to configuration. And I need to change the bottom to orange. And you see that that is now orange in the bottom there. And it's connecting. So I'm going to go through all of these and change the bottom to orange. Now what that's saying is it's outputting liquid on the bottom face. Now I can combine these two lines together. Let's bring these over here. And as you may know, geothermals will accept liquid on any end. So we can just do this. Get myself room to get out of here. There you go. Now you can tap these, and they will. If you need to pull out of a tank or something, you can tap these with a prototype Omni wrench and give them a redstone signal, and they work as pumps. They'll suck out. So actually, this is a pumpless setup. You don't need to do that with Magma Crucibles because Magma Crucibles eject all by themselves. So you don't need to worry about it. Just leave them in the flat line. You don't need to set it to the arrow. Now, what you could do with a liquid tesseract here instead is if these two setups aren't going to be right next to each other, or if you're going to have another base somewhere, instead of running a cable like this, you can make a liquid tesseract. I'm not going to go into how to make a liquid tesseract today because it is a little bit advanced, but I'll probably do a video on that sometime soon. So what you could do is you can do a tesseract at point A and point B like this. These are liquid tesseracts. Now, if I right-click inside of here, I can go to configuration, and you're going to want to set it to owner only. That way, no one else can steal your lava supply. You want to set this one to send, because this is making lava, and it's going to send it into this tesseract. Let's just make number 3, and we'll call it tutorial, and we'll add it and turn it on. So now we're sending on frequency number 3, private. Now on this one, we're going to go owner only. We're going to have receive here and do the tutorial, which is number 3. Now, anything that's sent into this tesseract will be extracted from this tesseract automatically. Now, we could have multiple tesseracts pulling from this, but you'd have to be careful not to, overdo it. Tesseracts are, like I said, they're advanced. You don't really need to worry about them at this stage. It's a really nice thing to have. Now, personally, you're going to need energy bridges, glass fiber cables, and energy conduits, and MFSU. So this is what we're going to do here. What we're going to have set up is these require power to make netherrack into lava. So we're going to run these like this. This is redstone energy conduit. If you don't know how to make those, you need a liquid transposer. They're very basic cables. You need to have these, and you need to have a lot of them. These are input, as you can see. If I right-click this with an Omni wrench, they'll pull power out. We obviously don't want that. So this is putting power in. Now, the problem is that geothermals give out EU, and these are BC. So these give out EU through a glass fiber cable, and as you may or may not know, we can't use that directly into Magma Crucibles. Magma Crucibles require this type of power. So what we're going to use is we're going to use an energy bridge. Energy bridges are really easy. They require a diamond, but that's about it. We're also going to need a IC2 consumer. I'm choosing to use an MV. You could use an LV or even an HV. It doesn't really matter. MVs are pretty cheap. So transformer and gold. It's not that bad at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the consumer right up against this cable. Bam. So you can see this is taking in, it's green now, it's taking in the power from these, which they're not producing any yet, but they will. The energy bridge goes in the middle, so that's basically saying we're connecting this to whatever we're putting on this side. Now the BC producer, you make a BC consumer, which is an engine, either steam or Stirling, surrounded by gold. You put that into a crafting table, and it automatically converts it to a producer. So you put a consumer in, it makes it a producer. Now we're going to stick a producer here. Now this is basically taking IC2MV, throwing it to the energy bridge, and pulling out BC. You lose a little bit here, but it's nothing massive. So we connect right to that, and you see it connects up. We want to select outgoing. I don't think this is necessary, but let's do it anyway just to be safe. And we're going to have it go to our machine, just like that. So now we're taking this geothermal energy, converting it back into MJ, and then passing it to these machines to make more lava. So it's just an infinite loop. Now what we're going to do is this excess power coming off here, we're going to put right into MFSUs or MFEs or whatever you have available to you. So we're going to watch these fill up as we're going. Now, what I suggest doing is do not connect these for the time being. Leave this severed until your system is primed. And I'll show you how to do that in a second here. Now, there's a couple of options for how you're going to jumpstart your system. I'm just going to use a hacked in already full energy cell. I know it's cheaty, but I don't have the time to sit here and make power. If you already have like a solar panel, for instance, you can pop the solar panel right on top of this and just juice the system to begin with. All you need is a little bit of energy to get the thing rolling. Whether it's water mills or whatever it is. If it already produces MJ, plug it right into here. If it produces EU, stick it right on top of here. Now I'm gonna just stick one of these right on top of this just to get the system juiced up and ready to go. So let's go ahead and pop a full registered energy cell right there. And we're gonna pull out of it. Now, if you click on one of these energy cells, you want to turn the output up so it's actually putting out enough power. What I do in my personal base is I actually add a whole line of these on the wall and use them as a buffer. That's not really super important now. So now if we go into here, we'll see these are juicing up. They're pulling from this energy cell and juicing up. So you need to have some way to get these juiced to begin with. Is I going to use all my power? Yeah, it's fine. So these are getting juiced. Now the only thing left to do is to give them Netherrack. So we need to have some way of getting these things a bunch of Netherrack. This is the more advanced side of the tutorial. So if you are using a sorter, a quarry, whatever, however you like to sort, whether it's red power sorting machines, whether it's diamond buildcraft pipes, which I really don't recommend, or whether it's something like a insertion pipe DSU setup, something like that, which is what I use on my base, but connected to an ME network. You want to get Netherrack getting put into these machines. I'm going to show you the simple way. That's to have creative, spawn in 6 stacks of Netherrack, and put them in. Now what you're going to see here, as I'm putting these in here, is they're going to start melting down. This is not a fast process. This is why I use about 12 and 12 right now in my base, 12 Magma Crucibles and 12 Geothermals. But once you get this system primed, it's phenomenal. It works so well. So we're actually losing a little bit of power right now just because we're kind of filling our tank. And what you're going to see here, as soon as we get some of these actually finished. Oh, there we go. Something already sent. So you can see down there, there's lava in the pipes now. They're getting sent to that liquid tesseract, and the liquid tesseract's pumping them into here. And we're making juice. This is getting put back into these. So right now, this is not storing in the MFSUs because we want to make sure these are full powered first. Now, after you've given it some time, that these get all primed up, and see they're actually gaining now, which is really, really good. So that means we're making power because this is gaining and it's still producing lava to pass off there. So once you see all of these full, it's going to take a while. Once you see all of these filled up, any of your buffer, if you have any full, you can reconnect this and start using your IC2 power. Now, if you have machines, which most advanced TechIt Lite players will have, that uses MJ, what I suggest doing is making an energy tesseract, connecting it to this, and feeding that out to wherever you want to take it with another tesseract. That's just so you have both types of power readily available. That's what's great about this system, is it gives you both power readily available. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing that is pretty cool, and these are kind of new to me. I don't have a lot of experience using this stuff, but I love it. So this is a DSU. This will store about roughly 2 billion of any item, I think is the number of any one item. So I could put 2 billion Netherrack in here. So let me get a shitload of Netherrack just for this purpose. Let's load it in there. Okay, so we got roughly 1,200 Netherrack in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use logistics pipes to keep this filled. So say you have a quarry. A quarry is, sorting stuff, throughout your chest and system, but you send all the Netherrack over here to this deep storage unit. I usually feed it into the bottom. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use logistics pipes. Now logistics pipes, luckily enough, take this kind of energy. So I'm going to make a logistics power junction, which is a basic logistics pipe, a gold gear, iron, and redstone. You can also use a chipset, but that's way, way, way more expensive than it needs to be. And you set it down here, and you're going to see it's gaining power. So we're gaining power slowly. This takes a long ass time to fill, and that's big part of your buffer here. So we'll give this some time to fill up. In the meantime, we're going to need a provider pipe, which is a basic pipe, and some glowstone. And you're going to need some supplier pipe, which is lapis around a basic pipe. Now, a basic pipe is a diamond transport pipe, gold gears, glass, and a redstone torch. Remember, this part of the tutorial is totally optional. This is just if you want another cool thing to try with your pipes. Now, the supplier pipe is going to go on top of the, your source, your netherrack source. The supplier pipes, let me make sure I'm right here. Am I right? Yes. The supplier pipe is going to go on top of the machines you need to have filled. So these are where it needs to go. Then we're going to use a basic pipe to connect all of this up. Okay, now these look badass, and you see how they have red dots in the four corners of each connector? That means these are not powered at the moment, and that's because this just doesn't have enough power to power it at the moment. So we're going to connect this. A basic logistics pipe needs to connect to this, so as soon as I connect it, you're going to see everything goes green. Okay, so now this is a whole powered system. Now what we do to make this work is we take our Omni wrench, and you right-click the provider pipe. Okay. Now this is going to add, basically is what do you need me to provide to the system, and we need to provide Netherrack. Keep the mode normal. Keep it include. Now this is priming the system to use Netherrack throughout the logistics. Now we need to have up as out. So now it's going to be pulling out of the top. Now, the supplier pipes need to know what to do with what the provider is providing. So the provider is providing us Netherrack, so what do they need to do with that Netherrack? So if I click into here, it needs to know what it needs to keep stocked. So we need to keep 64 at all times and allow partial requests. That means keep 64, but if there's anything less, just fill it. So now you'll see this machine will stay full. As soon as we use it up, it'll request another one. I had to pick the machine that was just starting, didn't I? These are already all filled up and primed, which is phenomenal. You see, instantly, the second it hits 63, it says, uh-oh, I'm low. I'm going to request another Netherrack, and you'll see it fill. Yeah, there you go. See it fill. So just request another one, and it sent it through. So we got to repeat that for all of these. Just put the Netherrack in there, allow partial. Put the Netherrack in there, allow partial. Put the Netherrack in there, allow partial. This is just each of your Magma Crucibles needs to have one of these on top of it. Okay, and you'll see when I click into here, on the config, the top is blue, which means the top accepts items. So that's all that means. So technically, the side accepts items, the back accepts items. We don't really care. We just care about the top and the bottom. The top needs to be blue, the bottom needs to be orange. Now you can see this is actually using all the lava it's producing. That's bad. That means that we're losing power in the system. That's because I added this to the mix. It's consuming power. As soon as this fills up, we'll start gaining again. This is just something cool. You really could just use pneumatics. You could just use buildcraft pipes. These are just a really neat system, and you can do a lot of really advanced stuff with logistics pipes. I suggest you go and learn them. I'm in the process of learning them right now. Now, as soon as this fills up, I'll show you what kind of game we can get. It's almost there. This is totally empty. I'm going to remove that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these empty pipes, and I'm actually going to set up a buffer while we're waiting. So I'm going to put these along the back wall here. These are totally empty pipes. Okay, actually I should have moved them over a little bit more. Oops. This turned out being a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be, but that's alright. Okay, now I'm going to take my conduit, and we don't need this here anymore. So, right out of here, I'm going to have this come. Oops, that's alright, that'll work. Like that. What did you guys come up with? I don't know what he's talking about. So these are going to start filling like this, and then basically you'll have outputs on the top, or however you want to set it up. And these can go out to like a tesseract or something. At the moment, I'm going to leave these disconnected just for the purpose of this is just basically a way to store this power for future use, so you have a backup like that. Now let's see if we have filled this yet. Yeah, we just filled it. So the power junction's full. These should start gaining again. Perfect. Look at that, climbing the ladder. So at this point, we're gaining enough that I'm pretty sure we can go ahead and connect our MFSUs up. Boom. So now you're going to see we're gaining. So this is pure profit energy now. We've used enough to repower these all over again a full second time, and we're still making extra energy right there. pretty phenomenal. It's a little bit difficult to get set up, especially if you don't have the existing power. I would suggest if you're brand new, just starting out, get yourself a geothermal, get yourself some lava cells, just work with that for a while till you get some machines up and running, compressors, things like that on the EU side of it. Then, build some energy bridges and start playing with the MJ. After you get some MJ stuff down, that's when you want to convert to this system. This system worked well up until I had a mass fab. After I got a mass fab in the system, I moved to HV solar. I really don't like HV solar. The lag is kind of bad. So I actually am moving to nuclear now, a breeder type setup. But that's about it. That's all I had planned for this video. The logistics pipes were kind of just a nice bonus. That's my basic setup. And if I take you back to my house, you'll see that that's actually what I'm using. You'll see that right here is my 6x6, or is it 6? Yeah, it's 12. I'm using 12 Magma Crucibles, the exact same setup you just saw, except I have the liquid tesseract in the front. The liquid tesseract takes over here to power this row of geothermals, and then I have all these MFSUs just brimming with energy. I mean, I just have the biggest buffer of energy here. I do have some solar panels up top, too. And then over here, I have this network all ready to go as far as, full of energy. Why is there a bouncing netherrack right there? That's really weird. Never seen that happen. So that's that. I really hope you like this. I'm going to do a lot more tutorials like this, and eventually you'll have a base that looks like this. I hope you liked it. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have anything else you want to learn about. If there's any other systems that maybe I don't know about and I need to learn and show you. I could teach you how to auto-grow trees. I could teach you how to automate all of the MJ machines with ME. I could teach you all kinds of stuff. So let me know what you want to see. Rate, comment, subscribe. See you on the server. Come check us out. We're a lot of fun. Peace.